Hello everybody and welcome back to another geometry video here with Mr. Byrne. Now last time we talked about finding the area of parallelograms, and that formula, area equals base times height, works for most of our quadrilaterals, things with four sides. But today we're going to talk about triangles. The good news is that this formula right here almost works for triangles. We just have to add one more thing. What we're going to do is say that the area of a triangle equals 1/2 of the base times the height. Okay? So what you're going to end up doing is finding the base times the height and then just dividing it by 2. Now let's back up for a second and just talk about this triangle. So I have my nice triangle here with a grid, okay? We could go through and say, okay, I'm going to count the squares. My area, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4, 5, 6, and then, well, this one is like half a square and this one's half a square, so I'm going to add those up to 7, and I'm going to add those up to 8. Okay, so we know that this equals 8 altogether. All right, now let's try to use our formula. So if I say my base times my height, I need my base. So I know that's the flat part that my triangle sits on. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so my base equals 4. And my height equals 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so my area is going to be 1/2 of 4 times 4. So I'll do my 4 times 4 equals 16, and I need to do half of that. So I can do half of 16, or 16 divided by 2 equals 8. And I know that my area equals 8 square units. So look at that. Sure, you could count up all these squares, or you could do it this way and find out that it's half. Now let me show you why it works like that, okay? We've all seen triangles, we all know that. But keep in mind the 1/2 of a base times height, all right? Base times height would help us find the area of this square, right? Or any quadrilateral, pretty much. If you take your square, you can equally divide it into 2 triangles, just like that. So when we're taking 1/2 base times height, we're pretty much finding the area of this square, and we're just cutting it in half. And like I said, that works for most quadrilaterals. You can do it for squares. You can do it for rectangles. See, there's 2. They're not, I didn't draw that very good, but they're pretty close. You can do it for parallelograms. You can do it for a rhombus. It's just how it works. If you need rulers, I'm sure your teacher has some that you can borrow. If they don't, I have a ton down in my room that you guys can borrow, if that would help you kind of map things out. Okay, so let's try it again with with another triangle here. Let's say I have this triangle like this. 1/2 the base times the height. Area equals 1/2 base times the height. All right, so my base on this one, I'm going to say is 10. And then my height. Here's the trick with the triangle. The height isn't going to be one of these crooked sides, right? Just like on our parallelogram. It can't be the length of that crooked side. It has to be perpendicular. It has to be a 90-degree angle up from your base. So I'm going to put this one as 3. I'm just making these numbers up here. So you're going to take your base times your height. And I'm going to say area equals 1/2 of 3 times 10. I like to put that in parentheses just for good measures. So my area equals 1/2 of 3 times 10 is 30. So area equals half of 30. Area equals 15. Ooh, I'm going to make this centimeters. Centimeters squared. Just like that. Let's do one more odd shaped triangle. How about a real long, like that? Ooh, that was gross, but you get the point. There's my line. This is going to be 15, and this is going to be 4 inches. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say area equals 1/2 base times height. And I rewrite this every time just until you guys are going to get used to it, because you got to memorize that. You're going to need it later on anyway. So let's see. Area equals 1/2 of the base, which is 15, times the height, which is 4. 1/2 of 15 times 4. So 15 times 4, I know that 2 times 15 is 30, so that must mean it's 4 times 15 is 60. And 1/2 of that equals 30. What was it? Inches squared. Just like that. Circle your answer, just so your teacher can find it. Okay? Now I'm going to show you one more trick with triangles, okay? Because this works all the time. People are always like, what if you have a weird shaped triangle? So I have this weird shaped triangle here. See, the boxes don't really line up at all, okay? But watch this. If you take this triangle and you were to draw a square all the way around it, all the way to the corners. Whoops, that didn't show up very good. Okay, you draw that line there, you draw that line there, all the way, just so it touches all the edges of the triangle. You need to make sure you're accurate when you do it, or else it won't show up. Okay, so you have your square there. Now let's find the height of this. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side, and my base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you do 1/2 of your base, 5, times your height, 5, 1/2 of 25, this one's not going to be an even number, right? It's going to be a 12.5. Let's call these inches squared. It works the same way. I know it's kind of hard to see, but when you get better at this, you'll see that, like, well, this part is also a triangle, and we're basically just taking that out. That part could fit in here. This part could fit over there. It all fits together, and it actually ends up being the same. So as long as you can make your square around the triangle, it'll work. You just have to remember area of a triangle equals 1/2 of the base times the height. Okay? I tried to make this video a little bit shorter because my last one was so long. But there you go. Let us know if you need help. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and good luck with triangles.